Welcome or welcome back. My name is Joanne. Today's video is my first update for Pan That Palette this year, and I am actually really excited about this update. And a few palettes that I talked about in my intro, but I'm only going to talk about my main Pan That palette and my little singles palette, because the other palettes I've only used one of them once, so I feel like there's not much to talk about. I think these are just gonna be like my two focuses for now. Without further ado, let's jump into the update. I'm gonna start with my singles palette because I love the progress on my main palette, which is the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes, which is on my eyes today. It's so pretty. I love it so much. Anyways, we're gonna start with this little guy. So this is what she looks like. I hope it looks the same because I end up taking out these two shades and this shade to put into a different palette with like Cindy Grace shadows to make like my perfect custom everyday neutral type of palette. Just have something else to use as well. But anyways, let's start with this one. So I ended up making a goal. I can't remember if I talked about it or not, but I ended up making a goal that I wanted to use each of these shades at least once, and I did achieve that goal. Yay me. Oh my god, am I becoming London Tipton? Yay me. Please tell me you know what I'm talking about, because then you guys are my people. And I love that. Anyways, going back to this palette, which is so cute. It's from Give Me Glow. I don't know if they have this specific palette anymore. But so let's go shade by shade. So this first shade is actually a Cindy Grace single in the shade Basque Light. And I used this once as an inner corner shade. It's great for warmer look, which is not what my main Pan That palette provides. My main Pan That palette is like a little more like pinky toned. So this doesn't really go super well with it, but maybe in the summer when I use more warmer shadows, that will go well with that. The second shade is from the original Glaminatrix Nearly Natural palette. It's in the shade Naked Eye, and I used this one also once. It's just this super pretty, like champagne-y, super sparkly shadow. Gorgeous. This one is also from Glaminatrix, but it's from the Sugar and Spice palette, I believe, and it's the shade Basil. And I've used this one once. It has like a blue-purple shift. I don't know if you'll be able to see the purple, but I can see the purple. This next shade is the one that I've used the most out of all of these. So this is Natasha Denona Fancy, and I believe it's from the I Need a Warm palette, maybe. That was my favorite palette that I had by her. I depotted all of my Natasha Denona palettes, so I don't have them in their corresponding palettes anymore. But I used that shade 14 times, including today, for my inner corner. This has been going so well with my Pan That palette. It's more of a pinky inner corner shade, and it just suits so nicely. Like, look how pretty that is. It's not sparkly, but it adds that brightness that I love. So yeah, 14 uses on that, and I don't know, I would say I'm maybe like halfway to pan, 3/4 of the way to pan. I don't know. I don't think I'm super close to pan on this one. This is gonna be, I think, at least 25 to 30 uses, at least. This next shade is from the Adept Heather Austin palette, and it's in the shade Passport. And I used this one once. This is like a pinky, this is like a pink to blue shift, which I love, with like gold in it as well. Or maybe it's like a pink base with a blue to gold shift to it. Yes, that sounds more correct. So that's Passport, which I love so much. This next shade is from the Adept, I believe, the Sumerian Sunset palette, and this is in the shade Mogue. This is so pretty. Like, the pan does not do it justice. It has like this blue tinge to it. It's gorgeous. It's stunningly beautiful, and I love it so much. This is also from the Adept Heather Austin palette. This is the shade So Excited, and it's just like this nice, kind of deeper, like taupe shimmer that I really enjoy. I don't know. I like this one too. Oh, I forgot to mention, Mogue has 2 uses on it, and So Excited has 1 use on it. And then this is Blend Bunny Cream and Sugar from the Blends palette. I wonder if it has like the tiniest bit of a bigger pan. I don't know. I used this once for an inner corner highlight shade. So for this palette, I'm glad I met my goal on using this one time, but I think I'm gonna up it to at least 2 uses on each of these shades. Because yes, this is kind of like in the background of my main pan that palette, but also I just want to make sure I'm getting a somewhat of a usage on these, you know, like 1 use is great, but I think I would want 2 uses on each of these shades, and I think I can do it within a month. We'll see. I can always change things back if I want to, if I see fit. So that is my singles palette. Now onto my main pan that palette, which is again my Makeup by Mario Etherealized palette. Y'all, you are not ready for this update. You're just not ready. Okay? You're not ready. So yes, this is like basically 2 months of progress, but I barely did makeup last month. If you watched my Rolling Project pan update, you'll know last month I barely used makeup. But so let's get into the Etherealized palette. I don't even want to show you guys yet, but here it is in all her glory. Ooh. Yes, I do have 2 pans in here. I'm sorry for the glare. That's just how this packaging is, but like 2 pans? Wild. Okay, now let's go shade by shade. This first shade I have used 16 times in total. I use this to set my outer corner into my crease. Well, I use it to set my outer corner and my crease, I should say. And there's barely a dip on it. Like, I don't know when I'm gonna hit pan. These mattes are so firmly pressed. I'm like, cool. I thought I would like fly through this palette because I use it so much. But no, that is not the case. So yeah, 16 uses on this. Gonna keep chugging along. This tends to be the lid setting shade if I don't have anything that I really like that much as a lid setting shade. So that gets a lot of use. This second shade is actually the shimmer that is on my lids today, and it is the one that I'm currently focusing on. I don't know if you can see the dip in it, but I am focusing on it, and I've used it 8 times the last 2 months, I should say. And there's a pretty good dip in it. I do use a brush with it, so I think I can hit pan in the next month, within the next month. And then I think I might go back to focusing on this shade right here because I think I'm gonna save this goldeny shimmer for the summer. I'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, so this is the one I'm currently focusing on to hit pan. This next shade, we have a pan. I actually just hit this pan yesterday. This shadow I use as my transition every single time. And I have used this 14 times within the last 2 months. And I hit pan after the 13th use, which is insane because I'm pretty sure this had, I think I put this in like my Deck of Panning Project pan or something to hit pan on that shade. And I used it like at least 20 times, and I didn't even hit pan. So this was probably after like at least 35 times. Yeah. Probably at least 35 times, 35 to 40 times of usage to hit pan on this because this had been used before bringing it into my Deck of Panning Project. Not too much, but it had been used. I mean, this is probably my favorite palette. Yeah. So happy with that little pan. This shade right here, I have used 3 times, and honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna get to this shade because I'm currently working on this one, and this is taking forever and a day. So who knows if I'll even get to this shade. Honestly, I might just be like, forget about the shade. I'm just gonna focus on like these 3 mattes now. I mean, that's basically what I'm doing every time I use this palette anyways. So that might be my plan going forward. But yeah, so that one has 3 uses. This one I'm not focusing on, so let's move to this one, which is my second pan. Well, technically this was first and then I hit this one. So let's talk about this shade. This shade I only used 3 times and I hit pan after 1 use. Again, this was used a lot previously. So I would guess maybe around 15 uses, 10 to 15 uses, and I hit pan on this. I started by using my fingers, but then I started using a brush. But yeah, big old pan in this one. So exciting. Again, I think I'm going to focus on hitting pan on this one, and then I'm going to go back to focusing on this one. But we'll see how I feel. These 2 shadows, I don't really care to use or use up, so we're skipping over those. This shade I have used 13 times in the last 2 months. And there's like a little bit of a dip where I focus my brush, but it's not that big. It's not super deep. We'll see when I can hit pan on this, hopefully by the end of the year. That would be nice, you know. But yeah, she's just hanging on for dear life. She's like, nope. Because, okay, these shadows are pretty, at least these mattes, I should say, are pretty firmly pressed, and you don't need like a lot of it, especially this shade. I don't need to use a lot for there to be a pretty good impact for me. So this is going to take a long time, and that's why I'm like, I don't know if I'm even going to focus on this shade and just focus on this shade, because I'm not going to get to both of them this year. Let me tell you. 13 uses on this one. A little bit of a dip. We'll see how that one goes. This next shade I have used once because, again, I was focusing on the other 2 shimmers, so this kind of just got put on the back burner. But I did manage to use it once. Again, I am going to focus on this more during the summer when I do warmer looks. This has the same formula as like the other 2, so I'm not too worried about hitting pan, at least. So I will get to this one. This shade has 4 uses, and I have decided that I don't want to pan this. Like, I don't love the formula. It's a lot drier than the other shimmers. Not saying that these are super creamy or anything, but like this one is super dry and flaky, and I don't love the tone of it. It's a little too smoky for me for every day, and that's what I want to use this palette for, just like my everyday looks. So I think I'm going to stop focusing on this one as well. Yeah, like this one I can reach for here and there, but this one I probably won't. It's just not my kind of shade, and that's okay, you know? And this, again, this last shade, I'm not even focusing on it. I rarely do a deep look nowadays, especially for work. So that's just gonna go untouched. So I think for this palette, what makes sense? I think I want to get at least, let's say at least 2 uses on all of the shadows. So like all the shimmers are gonna have at least 2 uses on them, which not gonna be an issue, not gonna be an issue, not gonna be an issue. Not gonna be an issue because I'm focusing on hitting pan on it. So it's mainly just like these 2. I want to make sure I get my 2 uses on. This one, so I don't just neglect it because it has pan. And then this one, just to get some uses on it, you know, before I actually focus on it. There's my update for my Pan That palette. Let me know what you think down below. Are you doing a Pan That palette? I would love to know, and check out your videos. I love watching Pan That palettes. Like, I may not be the best at it, but I love watching them, and it's just so fun watching people pan eyeshadows because I love eyeshadow. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great day, a great night, whatever time it is for you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.